Hello, everybody, and welcome to the European Grand Final, the International 2016. Bellini, you got the pleasure of casting Escape in their earlier game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they have a chance up against Alliance, the team that could 2-0 into the Grand Final?
I definitely think Alliance is favored in this, and they also had the luxury of watching Escape play in their last game. Still, looks like they will ban out the Tinker amongst other heroes. Alliance with a slightly different play style than other teams.
Who was it actually came out? I think it was PPD came out and said Alliance, they play their own meta.
I was Fear.
That was Fear? Okay, I was close, wrong. Same team.
Same team.
For now.
Dazzle, one of the bread and butters of Alliance's support duo, it enables them to perhaps run an aggressive lane. Very steady hero for Ake. So no coddle shenanigans, no jungle coddle shenanigans. Alliance just looking to straight up beat Escape in what looks to be a straightforward game. It's also one of Synderen's best heroes, I would say, especially for the way that they play. And other heroes that Synderen turns to is Venge and Winter Wyvern. Seems to be the two that he seems to like if he can't get his hands on the Dazzle.
He's been looking at the Wyvern every time he goes up against the Terrorblade. But hello to Timber.
Hello to Timber.
Everyone's been playing. I'm not really expecting anything else really crazy from either of these teams to start with. Obviously, Synderen knows Alliance very well. He was their coach at the Manila Major. There was actually a little bit of chat in the lobby before we started this game, where they're like, well, I guess we have to look for a new coach now. Thanks, Synderen. So he knows what Alliance should be up to, and Alliance also kind of know the way Synderen's mind works.
5 seconds remaining.
So I don't think we're going to have any major surprises in the draft. It's just going to be seeing if they can outplay each other.
Radiant team.
Yeah, luckily for Alliance, they have a wealth of strategies. And Escape, they haven't had too many games on record in the past few months. And it looks like they've just been screaming a lot more. So Alliance will be picking up the Bat Rider in the first phase. This has actually been given to Admiral Bulldog a lot more. His Bat Rider has markedly improved in the last couple of weeks or even months.
5 seconds remaining.
It's nice that an Alliance actually have the options that you're fearful of Admiral Bulldog's off-lane Bat Rider. He's also had some really good games, even seeing his lone Druid getting better and his Prophet having success again. So
Like those heroes need to be discussed when we're talking about Bulldog.
Yeah,
of course
I know they're like the normal kind of things, but he also
10 seconds
he was playing them and didn't really have the same level of success.
That's because
in
the heroes
past.
were weak in the current patch, but now they're both pretty strong. Actually, MP's not as strong, but and Lone Druid's pretty strong.
reserve time.
Well, Bulldog will be pretty stubborn and makes it work anyway.
So as usual, the need to find a solution for the Timbersaw. One option that they turned to in the last series was a Zeus with a heavy amount of magic burst, but the potential interruption on the Timber Chain, it made quick work of the Timbersaw. However, I believe it was paired up with another source of magic damage. Who else did they pair it with? It looks like it was
Oh, they ran it
just
Team
Zeus.
ban.
Yeah, that was versus Terrorblade though, as well as the Timbersaw. But it destroyed the Timber.
Well, you need to have some level of magic against it, so...
Well, some teams actually try and do it with a lot of physical, like Slaughter Lifestealer, for example, as a answer to the Timbersaw.
I can understand that with the Amplifier, where it sort of, counters a little bit of the reactive armor.
Yep. You want quick burst or a lot of magic damage, so you don't have to deal with the reactive armor.
Yeah. But for now, Alliance don't have any of that. For now, they've
10
actually just
seconds
got,
remaining.
Bat Rider with Firefly Sticky Napalm kind of style.
5
So we'll find with their
seconds
next two, but the Lifesteal is banned out by Escape. So they're more worried about the combination with Alliance.
reserve time.
Maybe that jump in life infest into a Bat Rider. Alliance have also been playing around with the Ricky.
Mm-hmm.
So just to remove them out. Ricky would have actually been really nice up against Timbersaw as well. Having the smoke screen if you could have ganked it up with the Lifestealer.
It's only good if you can actually pressure him in lane. A lot of times I've seen the Riki pick it, but there's no kill potential from the mid laner. It's like something more passive, and just doesn't work out that well for them. So Sven banned out. It's a little bit unusual. Escape has not been playing Sven that much, so maybe just worried about the armor countering the weave.
Is this when
a
we
little
also
bit.
look towards Terrorblade? The fact he's still in the pull into the second phase and you ban out a cleave hero?
I don't really think they're scared of the Terrorblade that much because they have experimented with the Elder Titan. They did lose the game they picked ET versus the Terrorblade, but if not, then they can just pick Zeus in this phase. And if they're really scared about it, they can just ban it out 5th. So I think that Alliance, they have it in mind, but they're not particularly scared about it.
Well, we're starting to reveal more of the lanes now. Unless Era's going to take this Faceless Void, it should be in the hands of Keizu, which pushes the Timber in towards the mid.
10 seconds remaining.
Generally.
Yeah.
But Era does sometimes play the teamfight hero. So what do Alliance want to grab for EGM, perhaps? We've seen them play Ember, actually, a fair amount recently. Not particularly great matchup versus Timbersaw in mid, but they've been giving S4 more scaling heroes if they can't give them the Death Prophet. And Death Prophet, very common, ban out in the second phase. Alliance sometimes take it in the first.
I'm wondering if they also just go for more of the strength kind of style with the DK. A little bit more standard for Alliance.
Versus Timbersaw,
You don't like it?
Very bad matchup, yeah. I don't like it at all. Versus Timber. We've actually seen S4 struggle a lot in that mid lane matchup. Especially versus Fada.
Radiant team pick.
Alliance get a counter up against the Faceless Void, so swap out a Chronosphere. Decent laner, decent stunner.
Also takes away Sin Zero. And I think a little bit there to protect the Bat Rider, on top of being very good versus the Faceless Void.
10
And they
seconds
might
remaining.
actually be eyeing for a Terrorblade pick themselves.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Alliance wouldn't really have a lot to deal with him. Yeah, but the Alliance still have 2 cores which are unknown.
Reserve
Yeah, and
time.
Escape, if they pick up their support now, then there's no room for ET in the lineup. And I don't think that they would pick a Zeus for Koikba because he maybe Invoker more suitable to him. But then again, Alliance do have 1 ban left, I think. Yeah,
Well,
Terrorblade's
would
looking
Escape
pretty
be
good.
fine picking up the ET anyway? Like, you're going to combo with the Faceless Void, so...
But it's Sin Zero. The Sin doesn't generally play those sort of heroes. It's more defensive. The Dazzle, Venge, Winter Wyvern, the ones that can do a lot without very much farm.
Alright, so they actually leave Sin Zero as a question mark, and we get Koipa's Invoker pickup, which means it will be an Era Void and a Keizu Timber.
Yeah, I actually think the Invoker pickup here is pretty nice because I think in this particular situation you want to save your support for last because Alliance are
10 seconds
still very much in the dark as to what they have
remaining. 5
revealed
seconds remaining.
against the Invoker. Very good synergy with the Faceless Void, no problem there.
Reserve time.
And probably fairly likely to be banned out in the last phase. And it's also just good against a lot of the potential Alliance picks, like Slark, for example. Actually, Slark, I think, is terrible versus Timbersaw and Invoker and Void, but it is something they pick up.
Well, that's going to be an S4 Bat Rider instead now, as Abra Bulldog gets one of his favorites.
Yep.
The Broodmother.
They already have Timbersaw, so it's not that big of a threat that they do have the Broodmother. But now that Escape have revealed all 3 of their cores, and generally we see, as you mentioned, Era on the Faceless Void, Koikba on the Invoker, and Kezu on the Timbersaw, they
5
kind of know
seconds
who's going to go
remaining.
where. Escape do like to switch up their lanes a fair amount,
Yeah.
and now that they have 1 support pick, like, the support
Reserve
pick,
time.
it's just very difficult as a Brood. There's not that many supports that do very well versus a Brood.
I wonder if this is also when Synderen just believes he needs to play the vision game a little bit more. Like, Beastmaster was already banned out, but he has turned to that 4th position Night Stalker a couple of times and just gone Iron
Yeah.
Talon jungle.
I think that would actually be the best, and just throw Timbersaw up top, sack the Void on bottom lane, because Air doesn't need that much farm because he has Koikba there to back him up in the net worth department, and use the Bat Rider use the Night Stalker that you mentioned to deal with the Bat Rider as well as the Broodmother in the later stages of the game.
Do you think you can actually just get away with running the Faceless Void Rubik duel off lane, push the Timber to the safe
Oh,
lane?
of course. That's what you should be doing. I think.
And then just get, I don't know, like, is there anyone that could directly charge against the Broodmother?
Timber.
That, as in, like, do you have, like, SB? Do you try and do, like, any kind of combo hero like that? Or do you just play for the later game? Like, you just play that vision game?
I think you just play the later game. It's difficult to kill a Broodmother with Timbersaw +1. Timbersaw is just stationary. He's there to prevent the tower from being killed rather than killing the Broodmother. Maybe once you hit 6, but by that time you can already get like level 6 of a jungler on your own. So we'll see what Alliance decide to do for Loda's hero. They have banned out the Slardar. I don't really think they would have went
10
for a
seconds
Slardar
remaining.
because they would just have huge scaling issues. Yes, Admiral Bulldog's Broodmother gets a lot of farm, but they have an S4 Bat Rider in the mid lane. Nothing that scales particularly well in that. Broodmother, you know,
Maybe they thought Alliance needed help to kill off Roshan. Like, even with Broodmother,
But-
it would have taken them a while.
if you have a single core, you just chrono him and then just kill him.
Mm.
So it's even with Aegis, it's not that big of a deal. I say as long as you don't incur too many losses on other sides of the
10
map.
seconds remaining.
Alright, so Lotus Hero is the final one for Alliance, and then we'll get Cinderin's last one for Escape. Not that much extra time available, so Alliance will have to make a quick
There's one I'm gonna
decision.
do. It might be just like a super late gamer like a Naga, I think. Because if they have Naga and Brood, I think they can just straight up just win one of those two lanes. If Timbersaw's bottom, Broodmother will get a lot of farm on top. Okay, so
Okay.
they did set up for
Radiant
a Terrorblade
team
pick with
pick.
Avenge. Escape can go with, like, I guess ET as the last. I don't know if Sin plays it. I think it's probably the best support there. Even support Zeus I don't think would be that bad. Axe would have been pretty good for them as a
Another
jungler.
hero we've been pushing up against the Terrorblade is Lion.
Yeah, Lion's also
Support
really good.
Lion, which I think Syndrome will probably be more comfortable with.
It's true. It's terrible versus Brood, but great versus Terrorblade. If they throw the Timbersaw up there, Lion can do whatever he wants. So I think that's also a really good pick for them. What else is pretty good versus Terrorblade? Yeah, ET or Lion, I suppose, or any jungler. But Beastmaster's already taken out, so NS I suppose would be the next one that you'd be looking towards.
Yeah, NS Lion seems to be
5
high on the
seconds
priority list.
remaining.
And, well, no, Syndrome will go back to his comfort. It's going to be a Winter Wyvern.
Winter Wyvern struggles massively versus Broodmother in lane if Broodmother can actually get to her. So we'll see how Admiral Bulldog plays this one. But there's a lot of damage, that non-physical damage to deal with the Terrorblade. Pretty much all of Invoker's damage or most of Invoker's damage and all of Timbersaw's damage pierces through the Terrorblade. Luckily, they do have the Dazzle Grave to save him, but it might be difficult for Terrorblade to shine in this particular game.
One thing I'm not really feeling from at least Escape. Actually, no, it's still going to be there once the Absol gets a Blink Dagger. I was thinking like where the initiation is, except from a Faceless Void Chronosphere. And like Rubik is sort of it.
Nah, you just get Era to run in.
That's
Oh,
it.
Era's playing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Era's on the Timber.
All right.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you just get Timbersaw to run in. That's what he does. You run in, you build up your reactive armor, and they don't have enough burst on Alliance to take them down very, very early on. Like, even with a Bat Rider Lasso, you don't have that much follow-up, especially not follow-up magic damage, which is what you need, especially versus Timbersaw. So
Yeah, isn't that actually really the worry here, that Lions actually have no follow-up burst damage? Like, unless Terrorblade gets a fantastic Sunder and then you just nail him at the end of that.
yeah, you're looking to just crush him in the lanes, though. And Broodmother can build an Orchid. We typically see Bulldog go for like a, Midas and the Echo Saber build, though. I'm not sure if he'll switch it up versus the Timbersaw and the Void and the Invoker and Winter Wyvern. Like, Orchid is amazing in this game.
Well, into the game we go, as Alliance versus Escape start their best of 5. The winner of this will go directly into TI. The loser will still go to TI. Both teams will still have tickets to Seattle, but only one of those teams will be able to play directly in the main event.
So
The other will
Broodmother's
be
already
going
TP'd to
to
the bottom
wildcard.
lane.
Yeah.
And as has the Rubik. And Rubik just trying to scout out what exactly is happening on Alliance's lineup so they can pair to Timbersaw versus them. And looks like Kezu will already start up top after seeing the web on the bottom. And I don't know if Bulldog's going to pull a fast one. He does have all his gold, I think. He has enough gold for a TP in case he wants to switch. So this will be interesting. Okay, you want to do predictions?
Yeah, I have Loda and 1625 for my first two.
16-25.
Yeah, I think that's going to be enough engagements early on.
I think there'll be a little bit more. We'll do 26.
seconds.
Would you?
Okay. First
Yeah,
play to
do
get
60.
50 last hits. I actually just want to say Quoitva. I think he's going to have the better one, but at the same time, Bat Rider flash farming makes me think that he may also crack it too.
I'll say Loda.
I'm going to back Quoitva. And will there be a courier snipe? Answer is always yes.
I will say no for Courier Snipe.
Really? You don't think there's going to be one?
Nope, I do not.
The battle begins.
Actually,
with the Broodmother on the field.
And was Sind in the game. That was probably a mistake.
Why Cinderin?
He fed a courier last game to the neutrals. That was Quakeva's bottle.
Didn't you say that didn't count?
Apparently not. I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But
Has to be killed by an enemy hero?
who knows? But a courier did die.
Well, wait for next time. So Synderen doesn't bring any sentries to the lane. Admiral Bulldog's already got his own one down. That'll be Era standing in the lane, and then Synderen as well as Yapsor supporting him.
Yeah, they might be trying to go for a kill, though. They do have the dust on the Rubik, so they can... I guess they might not be able to get the jump onto Admiral Bulldog, though.
I want to keep my eyes also on this mid lane. See how aggressive S4 wants to get. Yapsor is already rotating over as that Rubik, just to give S4 something else to think about. I don't know what that really is going to achieve with the telekinesis grab. Apart from S4 just taking a little bit of chip damage.
Yeah, not much.
Keizu cops a lot of damage too on top lane. He doesn't actually have Time Walk available. Looks like he knows he's going to burn the salve anyway.
Not sure what happened on the bottom lane, but the equilibrium's all messed up for the side of Escape. I'm not sure if Admiral Bulldog had the range creep block in front, but he will get a free wave at
Ooh,
this
S4, that's a lot of damage with a Cold Snap as well. Yapsor, the attack, Sunstrike well off the mark, but Yapsor's attack is right on it.
Wow.
And that's going to be S4 going down to Qualifier as well as Yapsor.
That's pretty surprising. I thought he was going to use his branch. He used a branch Tango. Keizu taking a lot of damage on top, but yeah, he took a little bit of harass and did not top himself off there. Very well played by Escape, and didn't look like that first telekinesis did much, but if you don't top yourself off, very vulnerable to death at that point.
I'm wondering if Keizu is also purposely burning his regeneration. Like, he's coming a long way up for very little gain as far as levels go. But it's at least making sure that the VS or the Dazzle can't instantly go over towards S4 and help him out.
Yep, so with an invisibility rune, maybe looking to get a kill onto Admiral Bulldog. They definitely need the help of Synderen to kill this Broodmother, because he's at full HP. As you mentioned, yeah, it's just, I think, mostly to keep the supports up there. Yeah, Regen, might as well use it and force the supports to stay up there, especially because Qualifier is winning his lane.
Yeah, Qualifier is having a good time. It's 10-0 versus 9-3. And you can always have the Bat Rider get his flash bomb, but because both the supports are standing up on that top lane, there's no stacks being done as well.
Yep, looks like they're trying to stack right now. Ake already headed over to the left side, or to the right side, and no Wave of Terror yet, so he can't stack two camps at once. A little bit unfortunate for Alliance that he's suffering so much in terms of levels.
Downside about having everyone holding each other's hands in the lanes.
Yep.
Less experience to split.
They need to get more pulls off. So
Alright.
S4's doing fine in terms of CS though. Even despite that one death, he's still, I would say, ahead of Qualifier.
Oh, he might even kill Qualifier if Rubik wasn't there with a Cold Snap. S4 thought he had another opening and gets slapped down. Yapsor at the right place at the right time.
Up, super patient play from him. And this will give Admiral Bulldog a little bit of space on the bottom lane, but because he's been playing so passively and scared of that Rubik lift into Winter Wyvern, he's been causing a lot of trouble for S4.
Well, he was keeping up with net worth, sitting at 1,400 now compared to the 1,900 of Qualifier.
He did spend his gold before he died. He had the boots and then he bought a TP scroll, so yeah, the net worth is looking pretty bad at this point. He was like within 1 CS and he had a wave coming towards him, so it was not that bad up until that point.
There is one lane which is still going very well for Alliance, and that's just the fact that it's a Terror Blade farming up. So Loader is not really being quelled in that lane. And that was one of those things you said, like, that's the way you win it, right? Like, Alliance just win it in the laning phase just by getting enough out of it.
Only if they get the Bat Rider Blink, though, and they need a Broodmother to have a good start. She's level 4, so that's a good start. You don't need that much CS on the Broodmother. As long as you have your levels, you can always farm with your Spiderlings and limit the support's ability to use the jungle.
Well, he's going to start invading pretty soon.
Yep.
But that's when Era can also start doing things we've seen more, like, I want to say safe lane Timbers doing, but it's normally when the lanes are switched up, where you actually creep skip between the tier 1, tier 2.
Yeah,
forces reaction.
you can't do that on Radiant side. The distance in between T1 and T2 is just way too small. On the Dire safe lane, you can do it much easier. So, push coming out, see a TP coming out from Yapsor.
And they're trying to push Loader back. The Metamorphosis, they have to give some level of reaction from this, and at least like the Rubik is hit level 3 before this push comes. So 2 points up in Feybolt should be enough to repel this push from Alliance, even if some level of damage is done.
S4 does get a little bit of breathing space, and Koikva wisely backs off when he has 3 stacks, realizing that the Rubik had TP'd out to the other lane. So how is Bulldog doing on this bottom lane? He is trying to mess with Synderen a lot.
Synderen still had a sentry ward
that's
down
a lot
though.
of gold.
All goes into the bank account. But he's losing his sentries now. He had 2 sentries down, one above and one below the camp.
Still,
And both have now timed out.
That one Splinter Blast paid for like 2 clarities right there. It's like 100 gold. And Bulldog not actually farming the lane at this point. It's a lot of good XP that's going by the wayside.
Oh, he's just abandoned and gone into the jungle. At least he knows there's no quick stacks for Era to farm up. So there's no burst money coming in the way of the Timber. But yeah, this is what I was waiting for. Like the jump just between the towers. So Era can do this, and if no one responds, then that tier 1 tower will slowly be chipped away by creep wave after creep wave. Almost to a point where Bulldog may have to start like creep skipping himself just to try and like change the lane balance.
Yeah, I think he should, just so he doesn't miss out on that much XP. But it looks like he might actually be making a move towards the mid lane at some points. He doesn't have enough webs up though to really make that spin in between the Radiant neutrals and the Radiant mid lane.
This is just him trying to find his money. As you said, like he needs an Orchid, right? Like he's not going to get that by ganking the lanes. That's not going to work with S4.
I'm not sure what build he's going to go for.
In fact, S4 is also going up. He's being chased by a Forge Spirit while he wants to do this stack. So Qualifier is very much aware of what's going on with the Alliance team.
And Winter Wyvern wrapping around behind with a Haste Rune. It's going to be a pretty difficult kill on EGM. He does not have Grave yet. Oh, that was close.
EGM keeping the distance of the Splinter Blast, won't be able to connect. Alright, so they don't find the opening over on EGM, but Era's still going to be fine with this. He's got 15 points up in the reactive armor right now, so he can easily tank through most of this tower and still feel very comfortable if he gets attacked.
Yep, 3 points in reactive armor.
Well,
It's
hello, goodbye
difficult to kill.
Terrorblade. They found extra damage. I was actually wanting to wait until Chronosphere was up for Keizu on the top, but when that Sunstrike from Koif was capable of hitting, and
how low was he?
I don't know, but
I saw him salve up like not that long ago.
oh,
Jeez.
I only caught like at the very end when I saw him die. I went up, but yeah, that's a death for Loda now.
Easy tower on the right side.
First player to get 50 last hits. I should have backed S4. I should have backed S4.
Yep. Fair amount of stacking coming out from them. I think Loda might have had it had he not died.
Yeah, it would have been close, but it's the S4 stack.
Oh, looks like Synderen will barely miss a D-ward.
Yeah, only just off. But at least he sees Admiral Bulldog moving around. That's probably like the bigger point of the ward. The issue is when this happens. He gets attacked by a whole bunch of Spiderlings and can't get anything back with a Splinter Blast because Bulldog just plays the vision game. But you've still taken out the tier 1 tower and bottom lane. It's a little bit of extra cash coming the way of escape. And Invoker's having a really good progression. 8 minutes in, you've already got your Hand of Midas, Boots, Null. You're the highest net worth on the board. Yes, the Batrider has played catch-up and is now actually rapidly approaching the Blink
Bulldog
Dagger.
might get a kill on Sind over here.
Oh, he's so low. Yapsol's trying to get rid of these damn illusions, and now Bulldog picked up, throwing around, actually back towards Synderen, who now goes into that Arctic Burn. They want to chase after Bulldog. There's not a lot of Spiderlings left, and, well, Synderen, stay clear of, well, making sure couriers don't die for 1. And 2, the Spiderlings.
He still might die.
That Dire Observer does see him move. But Bulldog would have to, like, commit another web to go down. He doesn't actually have the mana for it now. Now that he uses spawn Spiderlings.
Demised.
Batrider keeping up pretty impressively with the Invoker, despite having 2 deaths. And the Blink Dagger should come up quite early for him. I don't really see any stacks for him yet, as Ake has been preoccupied in top lane, and Dazzle just been leashing on the bottom. Speaking of Dazzle,
S4 only needs another 200. Then he can start attacking. This top lane, again Yapsor is the man that has to be like throttling the presence of Loda. But the top tower is down to 167. There's not much left on this, so they're going to TP 1 up. It's going to be Synderen. They're going to make this move. They have to smoke, which they will do so. The Dire Observer Ward was freshly planted in the lane.
they don't have the Dazzle there, so if they get the Chrono on Loda, With a Sunstrike to follow, he should die. But Ake is there to tank the gank. What a man!
Man for the team, and they're waiting. They don't want him. They want
Yeah,
they
they
want
don't-
the big man.
Do not want Ake. They know that this is happening, though. I
Yeah,
think.
there's your
Yeah.
jump. Sunstrike it up. They at least make sure that the Invoker gets more money, and this is something that Escape do very, very well. They make sure they buff up
They have the
Koifa,
blink,
but
though.
now in comes the Blink Dagger of S4, looking for an opening. Yapsaw picks him up, throws him down, the follow-up stun with Fadebolt. Keizu still with Time Walk. That's why he's the man in the front lines. The Cold Embrace will buy him a little bit of extra time as well, even with the Flame Break. Keizu will Time Walk off the damage. So the first reveal of the Blink Dagger doesn't really come to much. You take tier 1 damage to your mid tower. But I suppose Bulldog is already putting that Midas to work that he's managed to pick up and is continuously farming Radiant. S4 with Cold Snap. He may actually... Yeah, he's dead again.
Yeah, Koipa's getting out of control.
That's now what... That's his third kill, and he's got 2 assists. Involved in absolutely everything.
And the pace of the game is just really strange for Alliance. They weren't able to control the lanes very well for Broodmother.
Oh, they're coming. Admiral Bulldog. Ira knows he can find him. Admiral Bulldog is kind of... Yeah, now he knows there's vision there. Low on life, they drop a secondary sentry. The Sunstrike from Koitfa, right in the mark, and they get him with a Chakram. So Admiral Bulldog gets picked off now too. Every single core has died for Alliance. They're 5 out of the 6 deaths.
Yeah, it's looking more and more grim. Timbersaw, such a good pick in this current patch, can deal with so many
Dire's
things.
top tower is under attack.
Oh, here they go. I see the smoking. I see the ping out onto Cinderin with the recent D ward. But I don't know if they actually want to go for him. The smoke might pop.
That Observer was so close. Now the Observer ward. It's going to be the Blink Lasso. They find Ira. Reactive Armor's up pretty high. He needs to chain himself away from this, but they keep the stuns nicely chained from Alliance. And Cinderin got there too late. Has to Cold Embrace. He's got the Curse available. This may create a little bit of space, but Alliance beautifully spaced out, meaning the Curse will be completely useless. And they go from one to the other. S4 Blink comes back off cooldown. Starts sticking Napalm. Flame Break just pushing Yapsaw back. He tries to go for his own Flame Break steal, but getting swapped back in. This will be 3 hero kills going the way of Alliance, finally getting on the board.
Wham, what a smoking by them. That was just so quickly executed by them. And Cinderin not close enough to the Timbersaw to save him from that gank. And they thought they were safe with all the Observer wards, but Smoke Gank and another Observer ward placed deep into the Radiant jungle will probably allow them to set up a few more kills. So with that, and a huge kill on the Timbersaw, that are back with a decent grip on the early game. However, Koikwa problem.
Yeah, the Invoker is just getting bigger and bigger, and this will be the removal of all the Tier 1 towns of Alliance. So they're getting slowly pushed back onto their side of the map, but successful gank is successful gank. They still find something. They find 3 somethings. It's also a little unsettling to see Escape do such a thing. Like, it's like Cinderin believes he can come in and save Ira, then gets trapped, then Yapsaw thinks he can come in and save Cinderin, then gets trapped as well.
Yep. No need for the chain feed.
Yeah.
But Cinder was really close to getting the Cold Embrace off. And then he could have thrown a curse down to at least just run away.
Keizu. Well, how's your prediction? His prediction's good! He went for the dust! He found Admiral Bulldog! The Chronosphere would be committed as well. The Sunstrike's coming in. It'll connect. The swap out. The damage is still there from the Rubik. It was RK going for the save with the swap, but it won't be enough. S4 and EGM have now moved over too. Keizu just needs to escape out. There's still a hell of a lot of spiderlings around here, but they're fighting outside the web, so at least ESC know the hell what they're up against. And with a blink forward, yeah, S4, he's not going to find anything more from this.
Nice one by Kezu there. And Bulldog could have spent his gold, but probably still not sure what he wants to go for. I think just Oblivion Staff is fine, because then he can just commit to either an Echo Saber or Orchid when he actually decides what he wants. But I don't know. I don't know what he wants. I've seen some Mantas from Brood Mothers, but I don't know if you get it this early.
He really not. He needs to silence though, right? Unless he's going to start doing like the Beastmaster role, because that's normally been like the offlaner's role against a Timbersaw, right? Like you jump in close, you get the Necro Books off, and you burn as much mana as possible.
No, you don't get Necro Book anymore.
But he's got no stuns. That's what works with the Beastmaster.
Necrobook is too feedy nowadays. Doesn't allow them to scale as well. Yeah,
What's the
Bulldog's
Echo
Broodmother builds for late game, so I think it has to be one of either Echo Saber or Orchid.
Radiant's top
Well,
But
for now, he's gonna
Necro's
have.
not a thing.
For now, he buys face boots, so he's gonna wait on his big item choice.
Yeah.
But Escape are really hovering around the pit, and Yapsaw, well, he's actually walking around because all these webs, some of them belong to Yapsaw. He's actually managed to steal Spin Web. So
What
he's
happens if you're in one of the opponent's webs?
That's a very good question. If they actually work for you, would it be
No
like
idea.
like a Faceless Void Chrono where you can walk inside that one as well? But that'll be like Faceless Void making the most of it. It doesn't work the other way around. Arrow was thinking about the denial. It's not worth his life though. He saw S4 trying to come for him and then just bailed out.
I think it actually, like, he would have been fine there. He can just Cold Embrace. He'll take a little bit of damage from Napalm and the Firefly, but if things really go poorly, he can just Bloodstone Suicide.
I think Yapsaw's using the Brood webs, as in like Bulldog's webs. Judging by his run there.
I'm not sure. It's very hard to tell whose is whose.
Yeah, there's no indication. Like Rubik's can't have a certain style to it, which would be nice. Like a green tinted web would be nice.
That'd be hideous.
It might be hideous, but at least let us know what is what.
The Alliance looks like they want to do Roche. They need Terrorblade though for the damage. The lanes aren't really pushed out in their favor right now. It's not really good enough to do Roche, and it'll be a little bit slow if Broodmother just does it on her own. But the Skateboard keeping tabs on it. Sunstrike coming out earlier from Quakefa, and they can always send one of the supports over there to scout or use a smoke in there, but they're clearly worried about the Roche. And Alliance, with Loda leaving that top lane, looks like he wants to hit over there too.
This is also the other big indicator, right? Like when Escape pushes in this top lane, attacks the tier 2 tower, and there's no response from Alliance, you understand that Roshan is being done.
Yep. And Cinderin already has a smoke on him, so yeah, they know that they're grouping up for something.
Even this ward, like I love this ward where you can just like if you got a hero sitting behind the tier 2 tower waiting for it, you're gonna know about that too. For now, it's just an illusion. Alliance smoke down. There's no hero for them to gank up. They're just hovering through the Radiant jungle, and Escape are doing a pretty damn good job of dodging.
Yeah, but Kezu's not in a great place. He's going to get scattered out by the Observer Ward, and they may beeline right towards him at this point. Yeah, S4's heading over there. There's no support close by.
He just time walks forward too.
Wow.
Oh, well, last two. Goodbye, Kezu.
They were gone for way too long. Like, maybe he assumed they were doing a Roche. I think that's actually what he was assuming, but they were going to give up a lot of territory off the back of that.
They're doing tower trading. Invoker TP's the top lane, so Koifa looking to go for this tier 2 for tier 2. Low triggering Metamorphosis. They may not actually be looking even at Roshan. They're coming for a tier 3 tower. Escape have to come back. Era is a man with a TP scroll though.
Koifa
so
just used his BOTs up there though.
Yeah, he just went to go up. But he's going to at least try and go for the trade-off. S4 dropping so low. They weren't ready for that one. The Tipper Chain barely missing the tree that S4 was sending next to. Era a little bit off the mark. That one he's going to get. The Shallow Grave from EGM. Buying time. The Curse make sure S4 can't TP out. The Sunstrike's coming in. So say goodbye to your Batrider. So Koifa takes out the tier 2 tower. S4 dies for the 4th time this game. And the tier 3 tower will remain protected.
However, Roche has opened up for them.
But you're missing your Batrider. Metamorphosis is on cooldown.
They still got a lot of that. It's like Void kill plus T2 for S4 kill plus a T2, so it's pretty even. Problem is Koifa is still like very large and in charge.
I was so waiting for you not to do that.
Well, he's... I like how he pops his drums on the towers too. I don't see that often enough. It's just very efficient, I think. He doesn't really need it later on in team fights. The majority of it is going to be magical, so
Well, he's
taking out these towers
using it
quickly.
now to try and take out Roshan.
Yeah.
The Dire Observer Ward, however, which is still up, saw the movement in, and then the Broodlings make their way into. So they're very much aware. Sentries go down, and with a Split Blast, you can say goodbye to most of these Broodlings. Bulldog kept an extra pack on the side, but then Roshan also clamps them down. Roshan very low at 4.8k, and S4, well, they're coming in, and Escape are leaving. They don't want to get involved. If S4 can get a Blink Dagger Into that lasso with a force up, you can drag someone a long way out in Era. There's still the man in the front lines. They go for a telekinesis grab, but it's over on just an illusion Terrorblade. Nothing real to work with. And now Firefly is also worn off, so Batrider, S4 having to go a little bit more blind around the pit until Bulldog makes his way in, actually gets the Faceless Void with the spawn Spiderlings. The Splinter Blast is still taking care of the Spiderlings, but they got no Faceless Void. There's no Chrono. Era is stuck up on the hillside. S4 might have been able to do something, but he got bashed up by Roshan, so nothing comes from that. And with 10 sticky Napalm charges over on Roshan, now is Alliance looking to bring down the big man. They had to buy back over on Keizu, but the damage is already done. Roshan belongs to Alliance. And S4 with an aggressive blink is going to push Escape back into their jungle and dissuade them from fighting even more.
Kezu is dying at the most inopportune times in these fights.
Which is funny considering he's died only twice, but yeah, both times have been terrible for him.
Yeah. If that T2 were still up, they could have bought back and made the fight. I think that Sin should maybe sacrifice himself to at least stop that Roche. Like, commit a Winter's Curse. Yeah, you might get lassoed or swapped in, but he should be able to get the curse off, especially if Yapzor is there to counter the initiation of the Batrider with the Blink Lift. But I guess they just really wanted to wait for Kezu there. And Alliance, they did a really good job of stalling out. Loda had his Metamorphosis like 30 seconds on cooldown when Quakefoot went inside the pit, but they bought 30 seconds with the help of spamming sticky napalms, with the help of Bulldog's Broodlings. Like they bought enough time for the plays to happen.
Well, Alliance will see what they can do with that Aegis, the Immortal, in their hands. Because on the bright side, it's in the hands of the Terrorblade, who's getting really, really big. Like, Loader is well on his way to getting a Skadi up and running. Like, while Koifer is big, we still don't have any, like, well, do we have a Disable coming on the Courier for him yet? Nope. So he's got the Aghanim Scepter as well as the BTs, but we're still waiting for the control against the Terrorblade. The ability to kill off Loader.
That's Quakefoot. Quakefoot has the Ags and Timbersaw damage. If they get him Chrono, he should die, unless... Wait, he gets
even
swapped,
with the Skadi?
or Grave.
Yeah, all the saving mechanisms against the Terrorblade that allows him to sunder.
Yeah, they could like Winter's Curse the backline though, or like Face's Void ult if he manages to catch the supports. But
even then, like you kind of, because Loda could just sunder one of his teammates. Like someone could be the sacrifice health for him.
Yeah. Well,
So
the thing is, you don't want to go on Loda anyways, not right now. And I guess by the time they might be able to go on him, he might have a Skadi. So
Yeah.
it's more so controlling the supports. But Vengeful Spirit has an Aether Lens, so that makes positioning a little bit easier for her.
Looks like Bulldog is going to go in for that normal build you said. Like it's the Echo Saver build for him. But he's also holding on to about 3.5k gold at the moment.
Yeah, what is he gonna get next? I still think Orchid's pretty good. I think like looking further on into the game, I think Invoker's gonna get a Lincoln's to deal with the Batrider lasso because he's the primary lasso target. They can get Faceless Void, but still, I think they would probably prefer to kill. Actually, do they want to lasso Invoker? Because they have Cold Embrace. I'm not exactly sure about that, but Orchid would be useful in case they are scared about a Lincoln's later. But Broodmother typically does the heavy physical damage as opposed to controlling the fights with being a utility brood.
Gets a BKB instead. So looking to be a fighter. Also quite early on, 23 minutes in, but then you also get like a full Solar Crest from EGM. 23 minutes into this game, you're going to find the lasso. Yapzor, the man to be dragged up at the moment. He only steals Flame Break. Might have wanted something a little bit better than that, but he'll still burn. No matter what he does. They actually knew that S4 was on the hunt. The Observer and Sentry scouted him out while he's inside the Impish rune.
Yeah, he didn't think he had the vision over there. Nice ward on the Alliance side to the left side of the normal rune spot. I think the BKB is a good choice. It's much more reliable than Orchid. Like you might get Orchid off, but they might have BKBs by the time you actually fight, or you might get like Winter's Curse because you're looking for the Orchid. BKB is just a much safer build from Bulldog.
If you're Alliance, like how do you actually set up the fights here? For now, it's been pretty much they're taking farm wherever they possibly can. But you still have a Timbersaw as well as an Invoker. Invoker and Timbersaw both having Blink Daggers and BTs. It's like the side lanes are always going to be pushed in. Even with a Broodmother on your lineup, like getting up into the high ground appears to be a pretty difficult task.
That's what S4 is there for. just get more and more picks. First it's going to be supports, then it's going to be like supports in a lane, then it's going to be like cores in a lane. They are expanding the territory that they're farming. Like they have complete control of the Radiant jungle because of Kezu's death on the bottom T2 and the subsequent Roshan. And at some point they're going to pick up a gem and take down all of that vision and protect the Broodmother as well during the team fights. So it's S4, and they don't have like a great counter for Terrorblade in the late game. It's all decent, like pure damage from Timbersaw, heavy, magical coming out from Invoker, but no like super hard counter for a Terrorblade, and especially not a Terrorblade that has an Aegis.
Well, we were both wrong with our second prediction.
Yeah, I picked way too many.
Yeah.
That was a mistake.
Now we just need the courier to get sniped off and the mistake is complete.
Oh, I put no, so.
Yeah, that's what I said, like for your mistake to be complete. Mine will still be fine. And there's your Skadi now up for the Terrorblade.
Top tower is under attack.
So Loda going to be feeling very comfortable in the position of this game so far. But if they can force the issue anymore, Era almost feeling like he's bait. The amount of blink, we got 4 blink daggers over on Escape. The only one who can't be involved in that is the one that has to sack himself, and that is Synderen on the Wyvern. But everybody else has a jump.
Yep. Still, the Blink Dagger does not ensure that they will get the jump on the supports. And they have to kill the supports before they can kill Terrorblade. Because Terrorblade kind of has 4 lives right now. Sunder, Normal Life, Swap, and
Era.
Dazzle, Grave.
S4 has Blink last, so he's waiting a little bit longer, however, because he wants his teammates to arrive. So Bulldog moves over into the Insatiable Hunger era. The stun from RK won't last long enough. Keizu starts with time dilation, wants a Chrono on Bulldog. The swap out from RK is going to guarantee his death with the extra damage from Sunstrike. But now Yabsor's on the hunt. He's got Blink and Swap available. The Observer Ward actually sees Loda better than anybody else, and that's what Yabsor's going for. The pickup, the telekinesis grab. He's not going to go for the swap just yet. In fact, currently he's dealing with the illusion being mirrored onto him. But Loda slowed down with a Cold Snap. Still waiting this one out with a Deafening Blast. Now he starts to really Kuiper, flex those muscles, and they go for more. The swap is over on EGM, stealing the weave now in favor of Yapstor's team. EGM picked up and thrown back into the rest of ESC. And EGM will be dropping down. S4 will be allowed to survive, but Escape really dictating that fight so well.
Goes back to the earlier draft issue of not having enough burst to deal with the Timbersaw. They got a great initiation on him, but not enough damage to follow on through. And if you don't kill him in time, he's going to truck you down with that reactive armor. And that
It looked like Alliance 2 were very like, hey, I don't know if we can really do this through this. Like, RK comes in, lands the stuns, like, is this actually enough? Missing the rest of the damage.
Yep. Still need Bulldog to be a little bit more active in team fights. He also didn't pop his BKB once the Void came. If he pops his BKB, then they don't need to use a swap on Vengeful Spirit, and they likely don't chain feed there. But he probably didn't think that they were going to chrono him because their teammates were not that close.
Yeah.
But now you start to see the power of Escape's team fight that was without a Winner's Curse. Like, the Winner's Curse in a Chronosphere setup with like a Timbersaw and Invoker to follow up after the curse is going to be devastating for Alliance, and these single target saves are not going to be enough. Probably need a BKB up on Terrorblade to deal with the Invoker. They dropped his HP pool quite easily.
That's kind of problematic to get something like that, though. Because, like, where's your damage still going to come from if you're already
All
having issues with
Terrorblade.
that burst damage?
And Broodmother. Broodmother still has a lot of gold. It's like,
Yeah.
Going up
He's sitting on
32.
3.2k at the moment.
yeah.
But for now, like the BKBs are on Bulldog as well as S4. So they're the ones who have that.
Loda will get one, I'm pretty sure.
Well, there's our Lincoln Sphere you're predicting onto the Invoker. And a 28-minute Hand of Midas for the Faceless Void. After having Blink and Vlad's early on.
Yeah, we see this a lot coming from Escape because they draft more team fight than the opponent, but the opponent responds by not fighting and not fighting into the team fight. And you respond to that by getting items that help scale better into the late game, which is Midas. It's a little bit late, but no big deal. They want Faceless Void to be a factor in the late game, and looks like somebody's about to get jumped on.
Yeah, S4, but again, it's Era is the one they're finding. And the rest of Escape are a lot closer this time around. So Rubik, ready to jump, starts the weave off. S4, 4-staffs out. Keizu way too slow to find a target, or maybe he will be finding EGM. Wharfs the Chronosphere. EGM needs a 4-staff. Someone needs to get him out of that pit right now. Picked up, and it will be RK actually swapping him out, but Era waiting for EGM. The Shallow Grave will make him work for this a little bit harder, and they don't want RK by the looks of it. EGM will still end up going down to Era as Era goes in harder, pops the Shiva's guard, slowing down S4, Astrigger the BKB with Koifa behind him, but the physical damage is more than enough from Escape to burn through him, and now Loda starting up the fight with all the illusions. The curse is out, but Bulldog chasing down Keizu up on the high ground. You can Tornado, create more space, Loda's illusions still keep fighting with it. This being a 2-for-2 trade-off. You sunder the life of Era, the Orchid, the silence is actually there now from Bulldog, but the embrace, it's cold from Cinderin, but it'll be enough to keep Era alive while Loda dies in front of his own tier 3 tower. They hunt for more RK. Finally, the man who tried to save this initial fight with this swap will be going down, but it's all tit for tat with the trade-off being for Cinderin. But it's a little bit more in favor of Escape with 3 heroes for 4. A Broodmother now having to fight up against Koifa as well as Era. Not that easy. EGM back to life. But the tier 3 tower takes a little bit of chip damage. The Orchid again going to go to work on Era. Koifa will turn around just in case.
He's still too tanky though.
Oh, he's found the Dazzle. Sunstrike, that hit so perfect. What do you want to do here, Bulldog? S4 is TPing out. He's just going to Firefly, and the rest of Escape will back out now.
The Orchid is out, as you mentioned, but at this point, the Timbersaw already had a Shivas prior to that fight, and still just way too much physical mitigation. And that's really all he needs. He can just build mass amounts of armor and HP to tank the Terrorblade and the Brood, and the only way that he's going to die is if he gets sundered. He did get sundered that fight, and he still didn't die. So, as you mentioned, damage issues coming out of plenty for Alliance, and
they're not stopping the 2 big cores. You now got 20k net worth over on Koifa. This man still has not died this entire game. The Timbersaw has died once, but Era now with 21 Bloodstone charges. He's actually got a 2nd plate mail now. I'm assuming he's going to try and break the silence with something like Lotus.
probably. It just really helps Invoker too, because Invoker's a much more likely lasso target, or the Faceless Void. Faceless Void doesn't have BKB, so he's probably even a better lasso target from Alliance.
Yeah,
so
there's the Perseverance on the Courier.
Yep. Alliance chances looking pretty grim. They can still get the Roche though, but Escape not looking to give that up at all. It's already trying to de-ward around that area and prepare for the Aegis. We don't see a BKB coming out from Loda because he has died. He's actually going for a Chrysalis build, relying on his supports to save him through, but
they've actually got 2 of those. Bulldog also picked one up.
Yeah, no Glimmer, no Lotus Orb, no BKB. I'm scared for Terrorblade that he's just going to die due to a Cold Snap, a Chrono, a Winter's Curse, like any of these abilities.
But with this build, like, it's almost fully reliant on S4 getting a good initiation off, or some kind of swap. If they can isolate one of the players from Escape, now having the full Bloodthorn over on the Broodmother, they might be able to just instantly kill one.
Well, S4 trying to de-ward, but he will get caught out.
Oh, will he? Yes, the Chronosphere. S4 gets the BKB off. The Sunstrike still coming in. S4 copying too much damage. EGM is forced to use the Shallow Grave. Meanwhile, in the backlines, Broodmother slips in, and Cinderin, well, we know he sucks up against the Broodmother. In this case, he dies just as quick. And the rest of Escape want to kind of disengage. They don't have to fight Alliance unless someone hangs around like Bulldog does. He gets picked up, thrown down with a Cold Snap. The damage is so huge. They swap him out, but the attacks from Koifa, they still follow through, and they go for even more. The EMP burn. Alliance gonna have almost nothing left. They try and push away from Loda and all of his illusions until they're ready to fight him up again. So further north, the rest of Alliance licking their wounds. Keizu, that's way too much damage he's taking, has to time walk it off. Era comes to the front lines. He knows RK is low. Tornado's not going to be catching up S4, but Loda Also having a little bit of trouble. Yapsor picks him up, throws him down. He's got the swap available. The problem is he gets stunned up by RK. Now Gem of True Sight. Do they have the vision still? Loader try and break free. Era so low, but the Invoker, he's killing with an EMP. Looking for even more. EGM over the tree lines. The Ice Wall will slow down EGM, but the 4-star from S4 brings him back out to safety. And it's RK who's hunting on the bottom lane for Era. Sharkram's a long way up, but Koitfa, he knows this is a little too easy. When Era can blink in, get the Whirling Death. S4 coming back for more. He got a little clipped by the Deafening Blast, but not fully affected. Fire flying around to the tree line. Era, cold embraced up, and now I think S4 realizes he doesn't have the damage.
That fight was even pretty good for Escape despite having poor Lotus Orb usage from Era. He could have Lotus Orb the Lasso as well as the Sunder coming out from Loda, but he wasn't able to anticipate either of those in time. But still, Escape are mega farmed at this point, and Invoker pretty good when there's no BKBs.
Every single ability is connecting perfectly.
Yeah.
It's
S4 is kind of saving these fights though at the start. Like both those ganks from the smokes, he was able to make it a subpar initiation for Escape. The first time he force staffed into a blink. The second time he popped his BKB right before the Chronosphere. Like, those fights would have been way worse. They could have just lost a gem or lost a gem and a support and S4 and not really get anything returned. So even though Alliance is still playing pretty well, they are at a huge disadvantage due to the massive amount of farm on Invoker and the immortal effect of the Invoker and the Timbersaw. They are unkillable.
Yeah, they really look to be that way. But for the hope of Alliance, they need to get it again. This good initiation. Find somebody to bring down. They keep fighting while all their oldies get to be up at least. That's one advantage.
They can kite Bulldog pretty hard though. I think that's a really big problem. Cold Embrace is just good enough to stop the Bloodthorn initiation on anyone aside from Winter Wyvern. They have a 4-step up on Rubik. They have multiple blinks up in case they see him pop his BKB.
So we get a Hurricane Pike now up for Loda.
He's been needing to get some distance away from some of these heroes. I think he probably just wanted an item before this Roach fight, because if they lose this Roach fight, they will probably lose this game. So you want to throw as much gold into this fight as you can.
Just means you don't have buybacks, you don't have them twice over. Jump in from Era, finding EGM. They might be able to remove the Shallow Grave again. Bulldog hunting down Cinder, and he'll be able to finish that job. As, well, RK, 4 staffs away, but he already gave the stun over. Was the Rubik as Koitfa. Easy pushback on Bulldog. And he's got nothing else to really give at the moment. His BKB was already triggered. He's down for 81 seconds, and Loda looking for the damage now. He has to stand his ground. He has to fight. RK was able to save S4 from the Chronosphere. Then they just keep stealing swap. The last who's there from S4, Keizu trapped, and Loda, he actually has the strength. He has the opening. They brought down Koitfa. They brought down the big man. The question is, can they get the Tufa? Can they get both Era and Koitfa? Era kind of stuck in the trees for a little bit. Loda still fighting it up. But there's 20 reactive armor charges from Era protecting him, not to mention everything else he's got with Yapsor on the back lines. Can swap S4 back over. The Force Spirit is still in range, but Era, he went left while the swap went right. So they cannot keep S4 under control. They finally got Koitfa. Who got the money for that too?
That was Loda, I think. Sure.
You're right. He got 1,064 gold for that one kill on the Terrorblade.
Yeah, Invoker was right in the middle of the fight, and Terrorblade was able to thwomp him with the Eye of Scotty. I still haven't seen what happens when someone who is Lotus Orb gets Hurricane Piked. I almost saw it right there. I guess I could easily see it in test lobby, but haven't seen it yet in competitive.
Just that huge long push.
I assume so. I don't know if it's like 2 separate spells though, of the Hurricane Pike. I'm not sure.
Or you just have like that one singular push range where, and then they can both attack each other.
Yeah, it could be that, or it could be like it's just a 4-step on an enemy and a self-cast on yourself, and then this. I'm not sure, but regardless, they finally get down the Invoker, which is really huge for them, and Invoker doesn't really have any items to deal with a Terrorblade who's already on top of him.
Bulldog's visible. They want to jump in. The Sentry Ward was down. Of course, they saw him farming up Ancients as well. A Bulldog on the run. Era with that fresh Aghanim himself looking to put it to work. RK is kind of in no man's land, and his TP is on cooldown, so you'll have to wait in the trees until the threat passes. Or until he knows it's safer to come back out again. But while this goes on, it means Escape can take up Roshan. And Alliance, because they backed up, they're too far away, or then again, are they? Bulldogs coming in. Roshan's pretty damn low, but he's not dead yet. Koipa's got the swap by dropping his Hand of Midas on the ground. Aegis Immortal into the hands of the Faceless Void. As they leap up, they look for a new one. They look for a target. Admiral Bulldog, the double Chakram slowing him down. But S4 sitting on the back lines. No one's found an opening just yet. As Yapsaw's gone full Witch up on that broomstick. Flying for an opening. Can't find it yet, though.
God, look at Aero's positioning. He's just going in so deep, knowing that they cannot kill this guy.
Well, he is the Immortal. Koifa still hunting as well. He was chasing up after Loader until he got stunned by the Centaurs. But looks like everyone's going to be fine for now. Did they actually manage to recover that Hand of Midas? I didn't see if it actually got denied during the fight. It probably did.
Whose was it?
It was Koifa's.
Oh,
No, he's got it in his hands. That's right. He put the Midas down, then the Faceless Void picked up the Aegis the Immortal. So it's back in his inventory.
They could have been really safe and just Chrono on top of the Roche, but they felt that the Tornado was enough. Koipa cast it right as Roche died, so you would have to like preemptively pop BKB and blink in if you're Bat, which is asking for a lot of foresight from Alliance.
Would have been for the next level, but for now, Alliance still on the defense. The gold advantage isn't that big in favor of Escape. It's about 3.5k, about 10k in the experience advantage. So there's still money lining the pockets of Alliance. The question is just, can they put that to use? The Terrorblade completes up his full Daedalus. You've still got an extra slot over on Loader. Maybe now, 41 minutes in, is the time for BKB.
He doesn't think so.
What did he just buy something else, or?
He bought Daedalus.
Yeah.
And we see a Ghost Scepter up on Winter Wyvern, so no longer will Bulldog be able to get easy kills on Ascend. Yeah, I'm still surprised Terrorblade hasn't picked up BKB, but I guess he feels like the issue is that he can't kill Timbersaw, not that he can't survive, which is, I guess, a accurate assessment of how the fights have been going for them. With the help of Weave and the Wave of Terror, perhaps they can burst through the Timbersaw reactive armor. Ideally, they get a Scepter up on Dazzle, and he's actually building that, so their physical damage may not be as lacking as it seems with this pickup. He's actually very close, just 1,000 gold away. I don't know how he's been able to keep up his farm like this.
Yeah, especially when, well, then again, it's mainly because Ake always sacrifices himself, right?
Yeah, Ake doesn't really need items. He has Aether, that's good enough. He doesn't even need Aether at this point if he's level 11.
How to last is a Dazzle. Walk up to Wave, Shadow Wave, then back the hell up. You're all good. Alright, so Admiral Bulldog's building into the Assault Cuirass, I assume. One was already done over on Koifa, so he's got his own, and that makes it so Koifa is practically 6-slotted. Maybe Moonshard and second level BTs, but he's full.
I'm surprised he didn't get Shivas.
I think you had the Shivas already over on the Timbersaw.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right. You're correct.
Oh. No need to double up in this game, at least.
Yeah, people generally like activatables with the Octarine.
I'm also interested to see what's going to happen once Rubik picks up this Aghanim Scepter. Not looking for any of the big ulti steals, but like if he does get swapped, if he is able to pick up the lasso of S4.
Weave, I think, would be really good for him to steal.
EGM's been pretty like open with using that too. Like, he's not looks like he's been that concerned losing it.
He might actually get a scepter right now, sitting at 2985 gold. So scaling less of an issue for them. However, their BKBs are falling a little bit low. Batrider and Broodmother both sitting at 7-second BKBs, which is kind of the green light for Invoker to go crazy in team fights, as if he hasn't been going crazy enough already.
This game just keeps delaying though. Both teams know what's at stake here. Obviously, they still both will get to go to Seattle, but you don't want to go through that wild card. That's just a nightmare for you.
Yes, it is.
Perseverance?
Which of the regions do you think is strongest of the four? Who's going to come out on top of the wild card? Oh, S4. Ooh,
I want to see exactly what teams are matching up with the wild card before I give you that kind of answer.
Fair enough.
Because some teams will play better up against others than against others. Alright, there it is, finally. It comes out, 44 minutes, the BKB has arrived for Loader. He is completely, well, I say completely maxed, pretty much. And they managed to wait out the whole Aegis timing too, so that doesn't exist anymore. But Keizu's got a Perseverance sitting over on the courier. I'm wondering if he's actually considering going for just a refresher, like that straight double Chronosphere.
Yeah, he does not have the mana for that.
Well, what's the other option then? You pick up Lincoln's?
Potentially low. I think he is getting refresher, but without BOTs
There it is. Yeah,
and
second Perseverance just got purchased.
without BOTs and without like a scepter for mana, he's gonna have issues casting it twice in team fights. He has the Arcane Rune right now, but without Arcane, it's gonna be.
Yeah, for those who are doing the math, it's like, oh, it's only like 2 times 180, right?
Yeah.
A little bit more than that. Alright, so he bought the full refresher. So done 45 minutes in. You did finish the Aghanim Scepter also over on Rubik, so Yapsor. Now got those upgraded steals. Continuous steals, which, like, if anything, like, I'm more scared of that. I don't know if, like, I've been keeping my eyes more on Yapsor in the team fights than anybody else. Just because of his high level of control he's used.
He can't get in too deep though. I guess the scepter helps with that with the increased cast range, but any of these heroes getting focused down by Terrorblade will die very quickly aside from
They're coming for
Timbersaw.
Era. Admiral Bulldog's got the Bloodthorn, slowing down Era. He needs to wait until the chain. Okay, well, the rest of the team's going to arrive. Lotus Orb will allow Era to break free. Now S4 jumping in. They have to wait the Lotus Orb out. Then they can lasso if they want to and just hold him here as he does a hell of a lot of damage. EMP Tornado. Era will finally pop. S4 triggers the BKB, wants to go for more. Problem is, his home is in trouble. The top lane's being threatened by Keizu as well as Yapsor. They must TP back. So you kill off the Timbersaw. Thanks to Bloodstone charges to be back up very, very quickly. But it's something for Alliance. It proves they can kill the Timber. It just takes 5 heroes.
Yeah, it's nice to get his Bloodstone charges down. Surprised he didn't suicide, but I guess he forced him to commit the
Yapsor.
lasso. Not a big deal.
Quick jump, the swap out from RK, actually saving EGM, but the Chronosphere from Keizu, it catches 3, including S4 in the back lines. Kuiper wants to finish the jump, the Deafening Blast, it pushes him back a little bit. He has to bail out from Loader. That BKB is just too much. They have to let the 10-second BKB burn and then regenerate up.
Bulldog still has his BKB for the second round, and let's see. Keizu has not actually used his refresher yet. Not sure what he's waiting for, but he could easily toggle Intreads and refresher and naturally regen up to that 300 mana.
Maybe he's still looking for the double combo. These fights, like if it doesn't happen within the next minute, if this becomes a slow siege from Escape, he could still have the double chrono for
He doesn't
the
have enough
engagement.
mana. He would need an Arcane from one of his buddies, and that would only be actually Rubik. Yeah, only Rubik has one. But 975 mana with Intreads, he's 160 short.
Oh, here's your movement. Very deep for Era. But the tier 3 tower's already gone. There's a loop around the back from Admiral Bulldog, and he focuses instantly over on Yapsor. The Cold Embrace from Syndrome will save it, but Keizu locked to the front lines. Never even got one ulti off, so they curse over on Admiral Bulldog. This buys space for Kuiper to get himself away. They blink out an Alliance, showing their strength once again that they can fight, but Era wants to go. S4 snapping towards the air. He'll hit the ground, but Era in a little bit of trouble. Lotus Orb will help him break free. The Shallow Grave let S4 also fight with a little bit more confidence too, but Era needs to chain away. The swap is there. It's Yapsor going back in again. The Gem of True Sight will be lost, however. And now it's the swap in from RK. They keep Era in the fight. Alliance are currently doing it very well to a point where they bring down 3 players at ESC. They don't get Kuiper, who's still hovering around. But at the same time, ESC take out what they get, like the top tier 3 in range racks. That's what they got for that committal of the fight.
Not worth. Faceless Void died way too early on in that fight. He almost had Chronosphere round 2 at that point, but he doesn't have Ghost Scepter, he doesn't have that much armor, he doesn't have a BKB. Like, he is going to be their priority to kill. They had the Cold Embrace come out early on the Rubik, so they don't have that to save him. But through the BKBs, like, he has to be more careful about the BKB rushdown onto the Faceless Void, and looks like Escape will concede a Roshan to Alliance off the back of that big fight. So
Good for them. They can get themselves Immortal Initiators. S4 can probably take it. Bulldog might drop his hand at Midas and grab one of these things too.
yeah, I don't know who gets that.
Yeah, that's actually what it is. So Bulldog takes the Aegis Immortal and S4 will grab the cheese. And they'll send the Midas back home.
I wonder if Terribly is going to replace his Pike.
What would you replace it with?
Not sure. Butterfly for damage, maybe? Satanic for another life? I guess he probably doesn't need more defensive abilities.
Yeah, right now I think Lotus already proved that he can survive throughout these fights. That escape isn't really that intimidating anymore.
Yeah, but you
that
want
may
more
also
damage.
be because like the initiations that keep coming in. Like Bulldog keeps finding the right person at the start of the fight.
I don't know what you'd get on him. Oh, Moon Shard, obviously, I guess. That's probably the best upgrade for him. He doesn't want to drop his Pike right now. He gets kited pretty easily by Timber.
Well, he could buy it.
Oh.
Be sure to buy back by only 400.
Oh, Faceless Void actually bought a energy booster, so he does have enough mana for a double Chronosphere, and they're going to smoke off the back of this. He needs to be an Entrez to be able to cast it twice, especially if he time walks.
Well, there it is. Entrez, they BT forward. They go after EGM. Sunstride's going to kick in. It's only going to be the one Chronosphere. But that's 70 seconds without the Dazzle.
Yeah, he doesn't like refreshing. I guess maybe waiting for the big double fight, but
Yeah.
a lot of like I guess it's more so for the super long ultimates like Black Hole. You generally use a refresher immediately after you cast your first one, but not a big deal for him.
Here's Era's attack. They want to bring down this fort, this melee Rax. Without the Dazzle, Alliance may not feel so confident about this. Without having that big Aghanim Scepter weave. And yep, it is going to be the melee Rax. Escape will back out. The bottom lane's being pressured in by Batrider. So the safe way here is for Escape just to head down south.
It's going to get worse and worse when they have to fight without the Aegis, because their super important core, Loda, does not have room for the Aegis or Cheese. So if he gets double Chronosphered, I don't know if they have enough defensive cooldowns to save him so he can Sunder. Probably. It just depends on the positioning of the supports, I suppose.
Or if you get something like that Lotus over from the Dazzle, that'll work.
Yep.
An Ags VS and a Lotus Dazzle. That should tick most of the boxes to keep Loda alive. Kuiper's up a very long way.
What's he going to buy with this 6,000 gold?
What? Yeah, are you talking about Era now, or are you talking about Kuiper?
Koikva?
I kind of asked that question for both of them too. Like, what do you even get for the Timbersaw? He's got 7,000 gold on him, but almost every single one of his items seems to be pretty critical, apart from maybe the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, I think drop your Blink Dagger, get a Dagon 5 so you can kill the Terrorblade before the ult.
That'll be good.
They actually don't have that much magic resistance. They don't have any glimmers.
Kuiper on the run. S4 can't keep up with that.
And Invoker's already bought a Moon Shard, but even with the Moon Shard, he still has 6,500 gold.
A rather rich Invoker. 3.5k. Disadvantage actually doesn't mean anything anymore with the net worth.
Yeah.
The experience is almost nothing as well, because we've got so much gold on the field that's doing nothing.
Yep.
It's just buyback money. And it's not like we're going to go back 6 years in Dota where buyback had no cooldown.
Was that 6 years ago?
I think it was. Was it Dota 1?
I don't exactly remember when it was changed.
No, I don't remember the exact time either, but I'm fairly certain it was a lot, like at least longer than 4.
They actually need more items up on S4. Like Refresher Ags would be pretty darn nice for them at the moment, but he is very far behind his other cores because he's been having to do the initiation duty for them. Looks like Vengeful Spirit working her way towards her own Aghanim Scepter. Broodmother, what is going to be her item build after the Aegis expires? Does he have something on chicken?
Nope.
Did he sell his Midas? I guess so.
I believe so.
I don't see it anywhere.
There's only a gem or true sight in the ground back in the pit. So yeah, it looks like he's gotten rid of the Midas.
What do you get as Brood here? That's tough. Daedal? Oh yeah, he had the Chrysalis, right?
Yeah.
Where does Daedalus go? Oh, it was the Chrysalis for the Bloodthorn.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, hey, you
Maybe he gets...
had me guessing that.
I don't know what you get. The usual damage item is Butterfly, but the evasion is actually pretty useless in this particular situation. He might get Lincolns, I guess, to maybe deal with the Winter Wyvern ult, but even then you can just ult him with Rubik with that 2-second cooldown ultimate. So Lincolns, I don't think is a great choice here. So let's see, Bulldog with 3,400 gold. Yeah, not sure what he's going for next. Refresher maybe? What? Refresher.
Refresher BKB, Refresher Bloodstone, Bloodthorn.
Refresher Insatiable Hunger too. That's 100% life steal. It might be better than, like, let's say Satanic. Not that you really go Satanic very often.
Work.
On Brute.
Kira finds EGM. The damage, however, is nowhere near enough. EGM gets home.
You buy a lot of observers and sentries. That's what you do.
That's one way to do it. Lotus Orb is now up on EGM, so these fights might get a little bit more complicated for Escape. Be careful about where they're throwing out abilities.
Doesn't really block that much, though. I think the most important spell it can actually dispel is Cold Snap, so Terrorblade can actually do stuff in fights. But it's also important for the Winter's Curse, but it's very hard to time.
I'm kind of surprised with all the money that the Rubik has been picking up that he goes for a Yule Scepter 55 minutes into the game. What do you actually think that's for?
Just to kite the Brood. I think a Ghost Scepter would have been fine, because I don't think Broodmother has slots for a Diffusal at this point. So Ghost Scepter is really good versus Terrorblade and Broodmother, because the majority of their damage is physical, and they already have Vlad's and AC to kind of shore that aspect, and Ghost Scepter will buy them even more time. Then you can turn it into EB later and disable the Terrorblade, or maybe use it on someone who gets lassos. They don't die to the Terrorblade during that. I think I'd prefer that over to Yules, but Yules is pretty good versus Graved heroes. It's also pretty good against the Batrider, but he already has the BKB, so yeah, I would definitely prefer Ghost Scepter into potentially an Blade.
This money keeps getting spent more and more. The Refresher Ore for Terrorblade. So
Oh yeah, he did get Refresher.
Yeah, he did, but he's leaving it back at base for now.
Yeah, that's fine. Meta's super long cooldown. Also, they might not expect 2 Sunders, although Sunder's only 40-second cooldown.
They're probably also expecting to fight from inside their base multiple times, so if he has buyback money, then you just have, like, 2 over.
Yep.
Mana problems are now over as well for the Faceless Void with a full Octarine. Done for him. So bring down the cooldowns of everything. 75 seconds for the Chrono, 146 for the Refresher.
Now they have enough control, I think, to dampen most of Terrorblade's damage. They have Deafening Blast for the illusions. There's no way around that for Loda, unless you want to use Manta afterwards, but that's... people don't usually do that. And then...
Hello Shivas.
Hello Shivas.
So
Armor's good.
Yeah.
He's been taking a lot of damage during the BKB, so... he might also get cursed during the fights. I think Escape have far better control. Alliance just have the single target lasso.
Yeah.
No Scepter on him, no Refresher, nothing fancy like that. They can swap people in.
You're kind of okay with that if you're Alliance. Like, if you get that single target lasso and you drag him back, like, you instantly then make a 4v5.
Who yeah, maybe on a subpar target, but
yeah.
But I don't think you can kill Timber.
If you bring him into the Terrorblade, then you should be good. Because then the Terrorblade's got the damage, but you need to drag him back.
They have Cold Embrace, though.
Yeah.
And
but that requires Cinderin keeping up. But Cinderin still, like, the most, like, as far as maneuvering goes, he's kind of, like, the worst out of Escape.
But
because everyone
all
else
these
has
heroes have
dagger.
blinks, though, so it's not easy to get the jump. And Invoker has a Lincoln Sphere, so he's even more difficult because you have to, like, do the blink, Force Staff, BKB, and then Lasso, and then pull him back before he blinks out.
Yeah.
Which is very unlikely. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems. Not going to deny that one. Alliance, they just need to hold the lines for now. So the game is now approaching the hour mark. This is only game number 1 of the best of 5-2 and S4. Well, the BTs are coming over. He's got the Gem of Truth sight, but Qualifier at 522 movement speed all the way down south and can BT into the bottom lane. After seeing that TP towards the top, they realize small opportunity.
A lot of this game's on Kazu to pull off a double chrono.
He's come through for Escape in the past.
Yep.
Maybe not so much during this tournament. Back when they were known as No Diggity, people were banning any Faceless Void in the first 2 just because of the fact he kept finding 4, 5-man chronos. Now he jumps in, finds S4, goes for the first one. RK will end up sacrificing his life as he swaps out S4. Will he survive? EGM gets a shallow grave. RK making himself out. This one, Bulldog hunting down Cinder, and the Ghost Set's protected him for now, but not anymore. Bulldog just reeling away. The Lotus Orb is up. Yapsaw actually picking himself up with this one. They Chronosphere onto S4. Will they find the damage? Sunstrike, Chakrams, they're going all onto S4, but again EGM with this shallow grave. He's buying more space, and Bulldog goes for more initiation. So S4 is able to survive. The Rubik will go down. So a 1-for-1 trade-off. Loader into the fight too. Escape, do you still feel you got enough to fight? You burn both your Chronospheres. And Loader could just bring out that Refresher Orb and get his Metamorphosis back up again in a second, as well as his BKB. But the curse! Cinderin! He finds the opening! S4! They swap him back out again! So S4 being chased down by the Forge Spirits, but Alliance breaking 3 of the 3-men. Huge curse! But now they're grouped up outside the base. Loader, he wanted to Sunder, but the Lotus Orb cancels it. He doesn't find what he wants, and now he's down for 95 seconds. The buyback will come. He'll actually come back to the front lines with the BTs, but how many more of his teammates will still be alive? Era's fighting in the front lines. Cinderin goes down. Kuiper, they find the damage. They bring him down. Era's on the run too. The sole survivor for Escape, but they still have to defend their home. The tier 3 tower's under attack. A rather large wave going in through the top. Alliance have to repair the buildings before they can come out and look for more.
That Lotus Orb from Era salvaged that team fight. If they had gotten that Thunder off, Escape would have been in a world of trouble there. But because they were, what, 2 solo Chronospheres onto the Bat Rider, not your ideal target. And Alliance are in a pretty tough pickle here. If they try and push the base and they die, it's game over. Escape will take Roche, and they don't have buybacks, but they'll have the Aegis and Cheese, and they can just end the game. So going for a little bit of a safer play, although their cores don't really have room for the Aegis and Cheese. Looks like Terrorblade without a buyback will pick up the Aegis, and S4 also without a buyback will take down the Cheese.
He left his Hurricane fight. Can be taken back to base by RK.
So Alliance can stall out until the next round of buybacks from their cores, and they didn't suffer.
You get a Blink Dagger now on the Brood Mother. This actually almost feels like that old. Oh, he's got the cash. May as well use it. He's sitting at 8.1k still. But yeah, a Blink Dagger now over on Admiral Bulldog, so his initiations can become a lot better. He's already been able to get into the back lines multiple times, but...
Buyback status, Toby.
Buyback status, is that what you want to see?
Yeah, net worth is kind of irrelevant at this point, because the cores are just overflowing with gold. We see 5-digit gold on Timbersaw, and it's not stopping.
Well, you just want to see this one as well. How much gold per minute in the current gold? It's this lineup which you can look at, the last column, with a 13,000 over on Era.
The Midas from Kezu really paying off.
Hey, I know it's a Timbersaw, but still, he should probably buy a Moonshot.
He should. I don't know. You don't attack though with the Chakra.
I know, but it's... But you've got 12,000 anyway, you may as well put it into something.
I think you get Dagon EB5, or sorry, Dagon 5 EB.
But then he still has to get rid of the Blink Dagger.
Yeah, it's a nice alternate source of damage. The Lotus Orb, I suppose, is really important, but like the Bloodstone, he's not really dying, and he doesn't really need the mana regen, because he gets some sort of mana regen from Lotus. I would still like to see the Dagon EB5, because Sin keeps dying in these fights, even despite having a Ghost Scepter. So an additional defensive tool to help his teammates, as well as a potential offensive tool to blow up the Terrorblade. Like, if he Lotuses Orb the Sunder and then he's at 1,000 HP, he's dead to an EB combo, and EGM might not have time to react with the Grave.
If this game wasn't so important on the side lanes for Era to be moving around, I might have even suggested you go to like the Dagon and keep the Blink Dagger and drop the boots. That's something which we've seen from a couple of Timbersaws already in this qualifier.
Yeah, you can drop the boots. You can just pick it up on base and just BOT back. If you're gonna die. Yeah, that's fine.
Makes sense.
I think also with the recent int buff, like he has a lot of ints, so the Dagon will do a lot more damage.
EGM's the target. Yapsaw, Mr. 32 Century, moves forward, gets the grab on EGM. They jump in. Keizu, the BTs are coming in too. It's going to arrive at a 3-man chrono. That's big. It got RK as well. There's no saving grace. Even the Magic Missile will be stolen to keep RK under control. The support, the curse is there. Loader, will he unwillingly kill his best friend with the Chakram down? It's going to happen. Wyvern will find the kill. There's still a 2-for-1 trade-off as the Rubik got picked off in the back lines. Again, Bulldog being an absolute pest. And that is going to be ESC still. Ready to push in. No buybacks for the 2 Alliance supports. It's up to the 3 cores of Alliance. As Escape, they just chipped from range into the tier 3. How much more can they get? You still have your BKBs up from the cores. They didn't have to fight too hard. So Bulldog runs in, cops a fair chunk of damage. Tornado's going to pick him up. BKB still on cooldown for 12 more seconds. Admiral Bulldog, well, he'll get out. How much more can they go for? Escape, ripping through that range racks. The fortification will slow things down. Loader going to trigger that metamorphosis. Bulldog back to the front lines again. Needs the BKB, insatiable hunger. Cinderin first to fall, but Keizu, the double chronosphere. This could be it right now. He refreshes. He goes for the second one, but Loader pushed back out and then pushed back in again by the deafening blast. The Aegis the Immortal will trigger. S4's being focused in the meantime on the sidelines, and the buyback out from Bulldog. RK back to the front lines. S4 is low. The shallow grave is up, so S4 can survive through this. Tornado tries to create space, picking up Bulldog, throwing him down with the EMP. They're going to burn down a little bit, but the EMP doesn't burn enough. It's just the Ice Wall, which keeps Alliance basically moonwalking out the front of their base. They do manage to pick up Faceless Void, so Keizu will drop. And the only thing that was really lost is a lot of life from tier 4 and the range racks again in mid until Era, he comes back in for another fight. Or will he?
No,
Yapsor and Koifa were right behind, ready to go, but they're not going to.
No important buybacks from Escape, so they can re-go with the refresh chrono and take out Bulldog. Bulldog is priority number 1. Buyback down for 6 minutes. That is a huge window for Escape to close out this game. Without Broodmother there, it's a moot point to deal with the Terrorblade solo with the Invoker's control in a team fight, as well as the Winter's Curse that Winter Wyvern hasn't been able to put out, but should be able to if Bulldog ever gets off of him.
Alright, so Alliance. How do you play this now? Knowing the Bulldog is kind of like your linchpin. You're putting him on the front lines almost as bait. With a Shadow Wave hitting the wave, obviously...
They're trying to fight without the Void. That's a very tiny window.
Firefly. He finds Yapsor, but Yapsor blinks away in time. Hero's going to come over. S4, there's a BT coming on top of him. It's Admiral Ball at the front lines, but the curse! It's going to lock Bulldog in. S4's pulled away, and Loader! He will end up killing off S4. Too much damage from the Terrorblade working against Alliance. You still have Timber as well as Void on the sideline, but they both have buyback. Yapsor can delay this. The tier 2 tower is up and the fortification is available. So Alliance, they can't really capitalize on the 2 deaths of ESC.
All Escape had to do was just weather that fight and not lose like 5 heroes.
Radiant Courier just got killed.
You got it.
Hey, which one though? It had 5,200 net worth on it.
Yeah, I don't know what that would have been.
It's a second courier, but we can't cycle through dead couriers.
But that was like the probably last chance that Alliance is going to get to not make it a straight 5-on-5. And Alliance still have to deal with the 4-minute buyback cooldown onto Broodmother and Escape. They just need a decent chrono from Keizu, not even an amazing one. He's been getting pretty good ones in this team fight.
Just decent.
Did he buy another refresher? Why did he buy 2 refreshers?
That was Koifa. Koifa bought
oh,
the refresher.
his refresher orb died on the other chicken. That's what happened.
Ah.
He had one in the last fight. I was wondering where it went. But whatever, just buy another one.
He got the money for it, sure. That push coming in, it's a decent creep wave. And Alliance still without S4. They don't want him to force this buyback. A Butterfly will now also be purchased up. So Loader will have that for the engagement. Leaves his refresher back to base. That replaces the Aegis slot that he had during the last engagement. Now the melee Rax remains alive. What are you up to, Courier? It's Yapsor's Lotus Orb as well. That looks to be what he's trying to buy up.
That Great versus Swap, Great versus Chrono. Or sorry, Great versus Thunder, Swap, and Lasso. All those big ultimates that Alliance have, and their melee Rax is falling. Bulldog out in a terrible position.
Again, RK forced to use his swap very defensively. and actually gives over the swap. That's an Aghanim's upgraded swap, but then S4, he finds the Absol, drag him in the corner, brace a Chronosphere! It got Bulldog at S4! The Sharkrams are coming in, KZ wants to kill the secondary Chrono! They're gonna bring down Arcane Spawns, Admiral Bulldog! There's nowhere to go! S4's even just on the tip of it too! The Shallow Grave is not enough! The two of them are down! Loader, he needs to be huge! He needs to be massive! He's picking off the back lines! The Yule Scepter will end up saving the Rubik, dodging those 3 attacks! The Sharkram slowing down Loader! He'll come over to Era! Where is this damage output? They can't keep up with it! They have to back out now, ESC as well. By the time, no reason to risk it. You still got the melee racks in the mid. And Loader will need to actually fly that refresher out to himself in a second.
They still have to fight 3-on-5 though. They definitely know that Broodmother does not have buyback, and Invoker, not sure what happened to his BOT2s. Oh, actually.
Yeah, he just gave him up for the refresher orb.
Yeah, he didn't BOT back to the fight though after his after he had bought back. Not sure what happened to that, but regardless, they will have 5 heroes for this push.
And Koifa, they give him the Lotus Orb protection. Already the jump is over on EGM. Managed to actually get Lotus up. There's too many weird abilities flying around with these Lotus Orbs. But the bottom rack's being attacked. Loader, Metamorphosis up again. Wants Keizu. Keizu, Chronosphere's off cooldown in 1 second time, and then he can turn, but Era still standing on top of Loader. They want a better position for this, and this is a pretty damn good one. Loader on the stairs, isolated Keizu. There goes your Chronosphere. They need to kill Loader right now, and he's dropping. The Shallow Grave is up for EGM. They swap him out as well. Is Terrorblade in deep. Sunders over an Arcade, but the curse is on Arcade as well. Oh, Loader again has to kill off his own teammates unwillingly. Thanks to Cinderin, they go for more. The BKB is up. They managed to get the swap out again. It's Koifa who's the man who's saved, but Loader, the damage is there. Koifa 4-staffed in unwillingly, too deep. Triple kill for Loader. You still have Era inside the base, but S4 will not let him escape. Loader, the Shallow Grave is allowing him to fight in the front lines, and they get through. It's an ultra kill for Loader. The bottom racks is barely intact. It's the range racks on 3, 4, 7. All that is left. Does Escape have enough? Can they end this game? They're dead for so long.
I think they have to go right now when Invoker doesn't have his buyback. And they didn't have to commit to that, but they thought they could end the game without the Broodmother down. And if they're not quick enough, Invoker's just going to come back and like BOT there, kill the range rack, refresh BOT back to defend. So
they're coming to push.
Yeah, they need to end the game right now. And I think Loda had a smart play there by centering his own teammate, so he had no chance of getting that reflected back. And he kind of killed his 2 supports, but that's what they're there for.
I think Loader is actually killing off as many of his own teammates in the fight as he's killing off enemy heroes.
Oh yeah,
oh,
Rapier.
hello. Hello, Loader. He's going to give up the Mana Style. The Divine Rapier has arrived. It's still 37 seconds until he's actually got his Metamorphosis up. As they look for a target, EGM, Era, 4-staffed up by Cinderin, trying to push him away to safety. The Swim Blast will slow down the push, but that damage from Loader is just so high. Do they go past it? Yeah, they are. They're coming in. They got 40 seconds while this Invoker is down. They're going to go for a straight GG push. Not a single Rax has been taken. Fortification will slow it down. Keizu now back to World of the Living. Time walks out. He needs a Chronosphere and he gets it. He isolates Loader, but S4 still causing problems. This Chronosphere, there's no follow-up. Loader at least was controlled, but they don't find the kill. He's going for the Fortress with a BKB protection. Keizu now actually has to go again for the Chronosphere, but he hasn't got enough of them. Now they can just keep attacking it. This could be Alliance's game right now, and they've got it! 71 minutes! They actually take it on the back of the Rapier Terrorblade. Alliance take game 1 against Escape after Escape looked they had everything slammed into the bag. They lost it all.
Damn, that was an amazing comeback by Alliance there, and that's that's objective gaming at its finest. The Rapier was brilliant choice by Terrorblade. Generally, the Rapier is really bad because it doesn't work on your illusions, but his illusions are getting controlled by Invoker anyways, and when you go for the throne, you need as much damage as possible. That was so clutch by everyone on Alliance to close out that game.
That's what Alliance does best, right? They're the guys that are able to win games so late, by making these critical decisions. They don't need a single Rax. They hold the line, and they're still capable of winning. And Escape, that's going to be brutal. And that's a brutal start as well. That's the way you start a full best of 5. The whole best of 5 series, and that's game number 100. I can't wait for game number 2. We're going to be back. We're going to be back in just a bit.